Ahoy! Thank you for tuning in to the Dailey-Lumber Podcast, Episode 2, the sequel. I'm joined today by my co-host again, and by popular demand, his face will be here. Everyone say hello to Sir Lumber.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
That's me.
There he is. So Sir Lumber is here in the flesh today.
Wow. Thank you for that intro. I love
Through
it.
today's modern technology, we too can be in the same video.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
It truly is.
So I want to start off today. I want to thank everybody who watched last week, whether you know me or don't know me in real life. I appreciate people who left comments, people who left likes, all that. It was really cool. I think we're going to try to do this. I mean, this is a week after last week. I mean, I don't know if we'll do it every week, but I would like to stay regular with it. It was fun last week. And maybe, I can keep improving on how everything's, set up and how we go forward with this. And, how do you feel about that?
I am all for it, man. I'm having a good time as well.
Good to hear. Well, cool. We're going to do a little bit different this week. We're not going to just do video games. We're going to have a little bit of a DC and Marvel, movies and TV shows and stuff peppered in there. But, we're going to start off with what we started off with last week, which is what we're playing. So, anything new this week, Sir Lumber?
So, not really a whole lot new. Still a whole lot of Monster Hunter Rise. I'm playing that, enjoying that. Just got to the high rank quest. So,
excellent.
As did I. Yes, in collaboration with yourself and Mr. Andy Landy, drop that name. So he's helping us through that. I'm having a good time trying out a new weapon right now, which is cool.
What weapon is that?
Game. It's called the Insect Glaive. So it's two parts basically. So you've got like a blade staff looking thing, and then you have a little insect like sitting on your arm, and you can like shoot him out, and he goes and like harvests extract is what it's called from the monster, and basically he comes back to you, the bug does, and you absorb it, and then you get certain buffs depending on what you absorb. So different parts of the monster's body have different kinds of extract, and it gives you different buffs. So
weird. So the weapon itself is just a glaive.
Yeah, it's like a spear staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what that weapon was, but I guess that makes more sense.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's much more complicated than point. I started out with the dual blades, and then now after that, I really got into using the which is a lot of fun. You see me using that, like flying through the sky.
Smacking bad boys around.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's honestly pretty as well. But the Insect Glaive is really complicated, or not super complicated, but it's much more complicated than what I've been using up to this point. There's a lot more thinking involved. You can do crazy aerial attacks with people. You can just like stay in the air like almost perpetually, depending on how you're hitting the monster and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I'm not very good at it yet, but getting there. But yeah, so lots of Monster Hunter. Also playing more of, and I hope I'm saying this right, East Origin, which is kind of the game I talked about last week.
Yeah.
It's like a dungeon crawler, like, light RPG elements, kind of hack and slashy. And I think I mentioned last week that I was stuck on a boss. And I've gotten past that boss. I probably beat 3 or 4 more bosses, and now I'm stuck on another boss. So
very proud of you.
Yeah, me too. I'm happy about that. My goal. But that one's a good time. Other than that, so also on the Switch, I'm playing Pac-Man 99 a little bit. I got my first Pac-1, I guess is what
it's
you call
such a
it.
dumb name for a win. A Pac-1.
Yeah.
They spent exactly 15 seconds in the room thinking of that one.
Yeah, and it not a whole lot. I did get it. I took the commemorative screenshot, of course.
Yes.
Didn't have to cheese it like somebody else did.
I've won without cheesing it. I've since won without cheesing.
Since then, that's good. But
cheesing
so
is the easiest way to
won.
win, though.
Yeah. Since then, I've gotten probably 3rd or 4th place. I haven't won again, but it's really fun. I haven't committed to like the expansion or whatever, like the other modes. I haven't decided to buy that yet. But I'm having a good time. It's one of those things I'll just pick up and play for a few matches, and if I have a little bit of time. But so that's fun.
Real quick, I would say I did buy the single player expansion.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I recommend it unless you're like a big Pac-Man guy, because It's $15.
Yeah.
And you get to play basically a time attack and a score attack single player, which they're fun, but the main online battle royale is still 1,000 times, maybe even 99 times, just 99 times better.
Wow, 99 times. That's a whole
it's fun, but 15's a little steep for it, in my opinion. But I got it anyway because I'm a fool.
Right.
But yeah.
Yep. Other than that, so Switch is probably what I played the most of this weekend. I don't even know if I played anything else. I did play, I guess, I know Season 3 just dropped on that, which I'm not real big on keeping up with stuff like that. I think there's been some weapons, maps, and stuff. I haven't played since that has dropped, but I did play early with some friends. And,
you play any Warzone?
No, I have not downloaded. I just, it's not really my thing. I'm not a battle. Pac-Man, the closest thing I've come to.
Yeah.
It's not really my. But yeah, I mainly just stay in the multiplayer, and I also play. The same friends, so which that's a good time. Other than that, I don't really think that's pretty much all I played. I'm still playing through Halo with my good friend Bird Dog Gaming. Go check him out. I think I mentioned last week I'm playing Final Fantasy 12, which I have not any more of it since we last spoke. But I plan on playing some tomorrow. That is my goal, is to play some tomorrow.
Good to hear.
And get through it. And then, if it's okay, I wanted to mention bought recently, this morning, in fact.
Not allowed.
I'm going to break the rules here.
Oh, okay.
In the Final Fantasy spirit, I went ahead and I caved and I bought Final Fantasy X, X-2, the remasters for Nintendo Switch. I know that those are supposed to be coming to Xbox Game Pass at some point. This year, I hope.
Starting tomorrow on Xbox Game Pass.
Well, the thing is, I'm actually, even if that did, I think I spoke on how last week how Final Fantasy 12 is there's like auto attacking and kind of like Xenoblade, and it's got that kind of element to it. Apparently, Final Fantasy X and X-2, I assume, are more of a traditional turn-based games, and I think those really go well portably. So I'm glad to have it on my Switch. Even if it does drop on Game Pass tomorrow, I think that I'm okay. And I spent $20 on it, which frankly is a good deal for two games that are very highly regarded.
A lot of good hours per dollar for that as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We got to do those calculations. Got to get above what I paid or spent. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing that. I probably wouldn't start it until after I got through Final Fantasy 12. I think it's probably unwise to play through multiple Final Fantasy games at a time. But so I'll probably wait.
Now, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna play those back to back? Are you gonna complete one? You gonna beat one and go to the next, or how are you gonna handle that?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. I don't know as far as like how much I'll enjoy turn-based RPGs and all that stuff, and big, intricately designed worlds and stuff like that. So it seems like these games, we'll have to see if I go straight from 10 to 10-2.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I bought that this week.
Cool.
Man, what about you? What are you playing right now?
Well, I am still playing through Loop Hero. I think I'm almost done with it. I got to grind out some new. The way that the game has cards. I think I've mentioned basically your cards are your weapons kind of thing. I need to grind out a few more cards that I think will help me beat the higher difficulty I'm on to get the ending. But I'm still enjoying it. Maybe I'll beat that tomorrow. I don't know. I guess it depends on how.
Oh wow, you're already that close, you think?
I think so. I mean, I don't know, but I think so. And then the other game I started playing this morning, I'm actually really liking. I got SteamWorld Dig 1 on sale on the Switch for a whopping $2.50, which was completely covered by my gold points. So I got the game for pretty much for free.
Making deals, man.
Making deals. So far, it feels like a smaller, more contained, simpler version of SteamWorld Dig 2, which is I like SteamWorld Dig 2 a lot, and I'm enjoying this one a lot so far. It's probably not the longest game. Who knows? Maybe I'll beat that tomorrow instead of Loop Hero.
You could. You definitely could. Yeah, but yeah, SteamWorld Dig is fun. I bought both of one probably sometime last year for collectively less than $10. So it was really a good deal. Excellent. Yeah. But yeah, SteamWorld Dig 1 is and then you go straight to SteamWorld Dig 2, and it's just like a much better experience, but that's not to the detriment of the first one. It's just as games do, as sequels do, they just improved on the formula and added more of a story to follow and more upgrades and all that stuff. So those are really fun.
Yeah, it feels good just to be playing the same gameplay loop again. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, cool. That is what we're playing, and I guess we're gonna jump into some more some current stuff going on. A couple days ago, some preview footage dropped for Returnal.
Oh yeah.
And that'll be the first. Well, let me get this right. It'll be the first PS5 exclusive that's first party that is not a remake. So the only other Sony game or the first party game that the PS5 exclusive has been the Demon's Souls remake, which is a launch game, and everything else is either third party or cross generation. So yeah, this is the first PS5 new game from Sony.
Yep.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it looks fun. It's by a studio, Housemarque, right?
Yep.
And they made the game Resogun, which I also have not played, but I've seen footage of that, and it's real hectic and kind of all kinds of lasers and bullets flying around, and it looks like they've captured that in like the 3D space. Yeah. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm gonna, I think similar to you, I'm probably gonna wait on maybe some reviews and scores, and not that it really influences that much, just kind of I want to make sure it's worth the $70 before I dive into it.
New IP, $70. You gotta do your research on that.
Right, for sure. Yeah, so I think that probably assuming it does pretty well, it seems like based on initial like it. So I think if for nothing else, I would want to get it just for what it can show from a PS5 capability standpoint, because it's got some cool adaptive trigger mechanics, and obviously it's going to look really nice. It's the first, so I think I'll get it at some point. But we've got Resident Evil coming up, and lots of other stuff coming up, so we'll see where it, but I think I would like to play it.
Just to be clear for people who don't know what Returnal is, it's basically like from what it's showing, it's a third-person shooter, kind of like a space sci-fi horror looking thing.
Yeah.
And it has roguelite elements. Like I think you die and then you're reliving this loop or something.
Right.
I mean, who knows exactly what's happening? But basically, you die and you start over. I think you get permanent upgrades and you can experience more of the map as it goes. It looks really pretty.
It does.
The bleak, rainy area they showed looked really, it contrasted really well with the laser gun you're shooting basically.
All the bullets and lasers and such.
Bullets and lasers, yeah, it's my favorite thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, big time.
So yeah, I'm kind of along your thought with roguelites. Like, I don't like roguelites unless they have some sort of permanent progression. Like, you're getting upgrades that help you get further. I don't like the idea of just like a complete start over from the beginning.
Right.
I mean, at least I don't like the idea of putting a lot of time into those. Those can be fun.
Yeah.
But, I want to feel like I'm making progress, and I feel like Returnal will probably, I'm sure there'll be some sound progression in that game.
Right. Yeah, and, just as far as roguelites goes, I need that sense of progression, but also I'm interested in, progression is great, but I'm also interested how they weave the story into that and make it connected. Like, why is this happening? Why is this, this character reliving, and continually looping through this? Because that's a big part of what I've seen. You can pick up messages from your past dead bodies and stuff. You can literally find your probably the first good example of a roguelite that did that for me and made me drawn to it, even though I didn't put a whole lot of hours into it, was Hades. I know you played it a lot more than me, but there was a good hook there with why this was happening to Zagreus, the main character. Why was he going through these loops? And it's because he basically can't be killed, so he just keeps respawning in the underworld. So I'm interested to see how they weave that part of the game into the story, some weird reason on this planet, why is this happening to her? So I'm interested to see how that goes. And like I said, I think I'll get it eventually. Maybe a price drop will happen.
Maybe it'll be a PS Plus game eventually.
Maybe so. I think it's funny how there are several PS Plus games that's like, oh yeah, this is coming out on this date, and then oh by the way, right before it comes out, it's like yeah, it's free on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Like Destruction All Stars did that. That new Oddworld game did that. It came out for free. So I doubt that'll happen for this because I don't think either of those other two games were fully priced like $70 games. But that would be great because I would probably play the heck out of it. Nothing to lose there.
I'm interested to see how that game plays. Like how long is each run gonna be? Like, cause think of like Hades. Like I play that. It was rare for me to play a run of Hades and like stop in the middle and then like come back a couple days later and then pick up right. Yeah. I always finished a run. But I feel like a bigger game like I'm assuming a bigger game like Returnal.
Right.
I feel like you're not gonna finish a run every time. You're gonna probably stop in the middle, unless it's not that long. But I mean, I'm interested to see how that balances.
Yeah, I did watch one video on YouTube, kind of talking about initial, just one run. Like the guy who was talking about it, he played for like a few hours, and the only reason he stopped was because his PS5 like shut down or crazy.
Oh, awesome.
So it crashed on. So, but it seems like it has the potential to have like, decent sized, decently length runs, each time, and lots of story elements, to pick up on as you go. So that's a good thing, I guess. And hopefully, if the runs are 3 or 4 hours or something like that, I hope there really is good progression and like it's not just like, oh my gosh, I have to do all of that again.
Yeah.
And then because that would really turn me away. Like I'm not, I know those games are made for some people. I really, it's like back in the day, I had several times on my Game Boy Advance, I would forget to save on Pokemon, and then it would die, and I didn't realize or something, and then this of gameplay, it's like nope, I'm not going to go back to.
There's nothing worse than replaying a game that you've already played, like for those couple hours. That's always rough.
Oh, it's rough because then if you're anything like me, I mean, you have very. Again, you're like, oh, am I forgetting something that, or like I want to make sure I do it the same way, or so way too stressful, and then it'll totally just take the wind out of my sails when that happens. So hopefully it's not like that with Returnal. And there's like, even if you die, it's like you're looking forward to the next run and either taking a different path or getting back to where you died or whatever. So I'm interested to see the impressions there.
Yeah, for sure. Let's switch over to another new next gen, or I guess it's technically on next gen, but it's not exclusive next gen. A new game coming out that I will be getting on my PlayStation, and that's the Resident Evil 8. We played the Resident Evil, the Village half of the demo this last week. I think tonight the Castle half comes out, which we have not played yet. But what are your thoughts on the Village half of the Resident Evil Village demo?
Well, it's kind of funny because just for those who don't know, so there is a full demo coming out for everybody on the May 1st and 2nd, or it's like I think you'll have access to it for a day. And it's basically the two parts that we're experiencing on PlayStation 5, I guess, exclusively into one. So last Saturday, they dropped at like 7 p.m. A demo which you get to play for literally 30 minutes. It times you. Yeah. You don't even if you ticking. So it's kind of funny.
Very strange.
Yeah, and we'll get to your thoughts as well. But I think you kind of played it the way it was supposed to with my help. And they I think they sized the demo pretty well, like generally. Because you got through it. I ended up not getting through the whole demo, but it's just funny that they're doing like the village section. Now tonight at 7 p.m. They're going to do the castle section. And from what I understand, these two locations are like just the surface of what you're going to experience in the game, even though like they're basically all we've seen to it. It's the village and the castle. So as far as the last demo, I thought it was. I think I mentioned last week that I've never played a Final Fantasy or a Resident Evil. Haven't played many Final Fantasies either, but I've never played a Resident Evil. I've watched playthroughs, and I do like watching playthroughs of these games more so than playing them, just because I don't know, those are stressful games to play. Survival horror and that kind of thing it's never been my type of deal. But this one I really like the setting and kind of the atmosphere, gothic horror, like there's big castles and werewolves and vampires and stuff. It's not just your traditional zombies. So it definitely gave me that feel going through it. Through the demo, it was a lot of fun. You get to interact with some of the villagers, and there's a couple enemies you kill, and it really gives you that good sense of the kind of exploration and survival elements, and finding all the different like ammunition and like healing items and all that stuff. And then you got a little bit of a flavor of managing your inventory and stuff like that. So it was fun. I liked it. Interesting. And I guess for those who are like me and haven't played many or any Resident Evils, I think what you need to watch a play the most recent one because it's the same. Yeah, it's the same protagonist from what I understand.
I think it's a direct. I don't quote me. I think it's a semi-direct follow-up to that.
I think you're right. Yeah. So that I've seen a playthrough of Resident Evil 7 multiple times, so I think I'm but yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. And one thing I want to stress, at least on the first playthrough that I do, I'm going to be playing it on casual.
For sure.
I'm just going to out myself right now.
Those zombies, or whatever they're called, I guess they're zombies, I don't know. Yeah. They were harder to kill than I expected, even on casual. Like, I felt like I was capping them pretty good, and they're like, nah. You have 8 shots, it's going to take 7 of them.
Yeah, and you got to go for them headshots, too.
Yeah, and the headshot, you have like this reticle this big. It's like it's gonna hit anywhere in there. You're like, okay, well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a really good looking game. It's finally.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've played a handful of games in my PlayStation 5, and all the big ones have looked really pretty, like Spider-Man and Demon Souls and stuff. But this one does look especially good. I'm excited to see what they have in store. For the horror elements in there. I'm not a big survival horror guy either. But this game's getting a lot of hype, and it feels good to be a part of the zeitgeist every once in a while. Play the big new game.
Yeah. So no, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, and I guess just to touch on the demo that's coming out tonight, it's supposed to be like I said, the castle, and everyone loves the big vampire lady. So I'm not going to try to pronounce her name because
Lady Dimitrescu.
Dimitrescu.
I don't know. I'm not up to date on my tall vampire lore.
Right, of course. That's where it directly comes from.
Yeah.
But yeah, from what I've seen, and you may have seen this too, but it looks like there's going to be some scenes or like some sessions where she's like chasing active, and you're having to like avoid her and stuff. I've seen like a couple videos. Just little teasers of it. So, and that is stressful stuff.
Oh yeah, there's no. Don't get around that. That's gonna be a rough time. I'm sure it'll be very satisfying at some point in the game where you finally get the opportunity to fight back. But I'm sure she's gonna beat you up pretty good in the demo.
They're gonna present her as this imposing force that you can't do. Yeah. So, and if you've seen anything with 2 is specifically what comes to mind. Another one that I've watched, a couple playthroughs of, Mr. X, if you know who he is. Yeah. He chases you, and I think, he's a bit scarier. So
she's like she's too much of a meme to be scary at this point.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, if she catches you, she's got a slap.
I'm sure she's gonna mess you up.
She grows these. Yeah, she grows these claws from what I've seen.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that part of it. I'm sure that they're going to show it off a little bit this demo. But yeah, it should be a good time.
There's a funny thought. If you're Capcom, you're probably not expecting the weird. No one can predicts what's going to be a meme on the internet.
No.
Like, how do you market? How do you capitalize in the marketing of a tall vampire lady? Do you you quickly rewriting part of the game, like making more cutscenes, or you just like put her in more trailers?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've really shown her off, so I hope she's not just like a small part. I mean,
she's like not even barely in the game. They're just like,
yeah. I hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they've really bought into it from a marketing standpoint. I think they're really, really showing her that people are, I guess, just to put it lightly, people like her.
Yeah. Yes, to put it lightly.
Yes. Yeah. So, we'll see how it goes, but I think it's gonna be a good time.
Cool. Yeah. So demo tonight. Maybe next week we'll give our thoughts on the castle demo, or next time. We'll see.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Well, let's switch gears here a little bit from video games and jump into some movies and TV shows of the sort.
Sure.
So I'll let you take this off from here.
Well, being the big nerds that we are, it transcends just video games.
Speak for yourself, nerd.
Well, we got to talk about superheroes. So, as you can tell with my shirt, it's an Iron Man shirt. Got the little, square in the chest there with
nice.
my Iron Man armor activating.
Nice Frocket. I've got a Mario. He's also a superhero. On my,
well, I wish it was a Frocket because it doesn't actually have a pocket, but it has the.
I've got the Frocket. Look at that. There's Bullet Bill in there.
Yeah, that is something to be jealous of.
The wonders of the world are kept in this pocket. Who knows what's in there?
Right. Wow. But yeah, so just on that note, wanted to talk about just general things that are going on in the world of Marvel and DC, and just specifically how much better Marvel is than DC. But that's
I will not contest your point.
Well, at least in the movie and TV show world, I mean, there's plenty to be debated about when you go back to comics and the video games and stuff like that. They've got their strong contenders there. But just wanted to, for those who don't pay attention to Marvel, or maybe the general things that are coming up or that have just been going on in Marvel, the movie and TV show world, just want to kind of run through those and maybe get our some thoughts on the things that we have seen as far as the TV shows go, and then just what's coming up to look forward to this year for movies and TV shows. So
for sure.
So season 1 just got done with WandaVision, which I liked a lot. It was like 6 episodes. It was definitely a little bit different feel than other Marvel shows in TV, or shows and movies. So what did you think about WandaVision? General thoughts?
I liked WandaVision. We'll never know how the recent events affected production.
Right.
But I really felt like the first half of the show was better.
Yeah.
I really liked the confusing mystery part of it.
Right.
It was something different. It was good. I feel like it trailed off a little. It was still good, but at the end, you could tell they had to rush some stuff. Maybe they didn't get everyone there to film. But overall, the show was great. I thought it was funny. It was really smart in the way it played off of American sitcoms and stuff.
Right.
There was that Office episode. It had references to the Office
with the interviews.
Yeah. There was It was fun. I don't know. I mean, I guess they left the door open for some sort of follow up, whether that's in movies, obviously, or in some sort of TV show. I don't know.
Right.
But I wouldn't mind seeing more of a WandaVision.
Sure. Well, it's interesting because because of how they chose to approach that story and basically what was going on. I'll try not to get too spoilery with this, but I think just from the trailers and such, you can see that there's something going on with this 50s, 60s inspired sitcom, and just based on the story that's wrapped around that, it's hard to, unless you just tell a completely different story, you won't get the same feel from a season 2.
Yeah, for sure.
So
you can't really capture that lightning in a bottle thing again. That was the format of that show was unique to that season. You can't really do that again.
And to tell that story because what was going on right then. And just you kind of mentioned how it maybe trailed off a little bit at the end, and I think that's just because they had this cool setup with the sitcom-esque stuff, and eventually there was that mystery, right? But eventually they had to solve that, right? They had to address that, unless they were really going to drag it out and have multiple seasons where this stuff goes unanswered. But I don't think people really want that either.
Yeah.
So it may have trailed off, but I think generally it did a good job, and it told an interesting story, and it set up some cool things for movies to come. Again, I don't want to get too spoilery, but I know that Wanda is going to be involved in some stuff in the future, which is kind of set up by things that have happened in this series, in that show. So even if there's not subsequent seasons, I think they did a good job with telling that story. And it was a different feel. I think, like you said, it was really smart. Just kind of how they did it. So
I'm excited to see where Wanda goes with this. And her development with her powers, and then her character development in general that was fun. And there's even some new characters introduced that'll show up in some form.
There were,
in some future movies to be assumed.
Right. Yeah. So that was a good time. Just carrying on that, the next show that just came out on Disney Plus, following WandaVision, was The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yep. Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
As I keep calling it on accident.
Well, yeah, and the just I said I wasn't gonna get into spoilers, but he does drive a very fast, like futuristic vehicle in the last episode. Captain Falcon does. He goes through Big Blue and everything. So
yeah, it's crazy.
right.
He goes through Mid City. It was
Crazy
very strange.
Yeah. But anyways,
and when he punched Mario in that last scene, that was nuts.
Yeah. He Falcon punched the heck out of it.
Yeah. Don't.
Very brutal.
No spoilers though.
No spoilers. So that's all we'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that just wrapped up. What's today? Saturday. So it just wrapped up yesterday.
Yep.
On Friday the 23rd. And I like that a lot. And in the MCU as a whole, some of my favorite movies have been the Captain America movies.
Yeah.
And this one really, I think it captured that same feel overall with the series. I like all the hand-to-hand combat scenes. I thought it was done really well, and it was, as opposed to the way WandaVision took it with like kind of mystery and intrigue and all that. It was very straightforward action. You knew what was going on. Like there was big bombastic moments and action scenes and all that stuff. And that was a kind of a cool transition from one thing to the next. So I think they're starting off strong with their Disney Plus.
Oh, for sure.
Shows. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, I did like the contrast with WandaVision, like you said. I wasn't too like you said. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is pretty to the point. The overall storyline, you can kind of see where it's going to go early on. And I didn't mind it so much because WandaVision had all that intrigue and what's going to happen, what's going on. It was nice to get a little more of just a direct action-y.
Right.
There was still some development mystery, but obviously not. It wasn't the intent of the show like WandaVision was.
No, definitely not.
No.
But yeah, so I think that this show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, definitely sets up more seasons if Marvel so chooses, Disney so chooses, more so than WandaVision did.
Yeah.
I think that the story, I think how it ended, and it could go they could transition straight into movies, or they could keep going down, or both. The shows or movies. So I like that. And I'm looking forward to more with these characters. So
that's a good point.
I'll say on that.
They both lead to more, but WandaVision definitely leads to movies and Falcon and Winter Soldier, like you said, could have another few seasons of just a TV show, just for the way it's set up and the way the story went. It could also, I think they did confirm they are making Captain America 4.
They did.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it's going to go, and that's what it'll be, the direct follow-up.
Right. I doubt another season of this will come out before that.
Yeah, but I could see another season happening in general.
Yeah,
for sure.
Same. But yeah, so coming up later on this year, and pretty soon, we have the first season of Loki coming out on June 11th.
That trailer was awesome.
It was awesome, and that is a big weekend. Let me say.
Wait, did you say it was the June 11th weekend?
June 11th.
Oh my God.
That Friday. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yes.
That is a huge weekend.
For those who do not know, that is Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, the PS5 upgrade, and then the DLC expansion.
Yep.
That is Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart on PS5, another big-time PS5 exclusive. That is E3 starts?
E3 starts that Saturday, which I guess, what's it, 13th maybe?
So the 12th. Yeah.
The 12th, yeah, sure.
Yeah, because Friday the 11th, yeah. So that Saturday the 12th, that's E3. And then Loki on that Friday, so big weekend.
I was thinking I was going to take off the following Monday, Tuesday just for E3. I might take off Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and just take in this week of media.
Yeah. You just come out the other end just exhausted.
I'm going to have to prepare it. Order some pizzas, make some coffee, and just get ready to not sleep.
Yeah, and I don't even know. I think we talked about this. This is off topic, but I don't know how I'm going to approach that situation with the games. Because I'm so looking forward to playing through Final Fantasy VII again.
Yeah.
But Ratchet & Clank is that's an OG way back in the day childhood game series. So
yeah, I have no idea, man. I'm gonna have, and also, it's 4 different things. That I'm going to have to be invested in, or I'm going to get spoiled.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
So it's I want to see what happens in the Yuffie DLC.
Yeah.
And I want to see what happens. I mean, Ratchet and Clank, people are probably going to spoil that, but
I don't know how much you really can. But
yeah, but
but
at E3, I want to watch that live for the most part, and that's going to be.
For sure.
If I want to watch E3 live in any capacity, that's going to be like most of the day on those days.
Well, it depends. I need to figure out what or see what the schedule is for different developers and all that stuff. But it may not have to 100% pay attention, and some of that stuff may not be that entertaining. You might just want to catch the highlights after. But it's going to take a lot of focus.
I think I am going to take off for 4 days and just. Have a staycation. Close the door.
Don't know that I can do that, but
have some get maybe a mini fridge and just fill it with pizzas and coffee.
There you go.
And just
get one of those,
turn to a hermit.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard about those Xbox Series X mini fridges that they're supposedly going to be making. So maybe one of those.
How many are those? I feel like they say mini fridge, but that looked like a stand-up fridge.
Yeah, it looked like a big boy. Yeah. I don't know, but
I want to see their regular size fridges.
Microsoft's regular size fridges. But big weekend there. So June 11th for Loki. The trailer, we haven't even talked. We talked all this time. We haven't even talked that much about Loki.
The date was the big news.
Yeah, the date. But the trailer looks. It looked really cool. Owen Wilson is in it, which he's a funny guy. Wow. Yeah. So he's cool, but it seems to be, if I remember correctly, I've only watched the trailer like once, but there's like time travel elements and stuff like that. And they called them something.
The timekeepers or something like that?
The timekeepers, something like that. So, which definitely, it makes sense because of how, Loki got there. I don't know if it's a spoiler to talk about, Loki's direct, like what last happened to him in the MCU. I mean, that was Endgame. If you guys haven't seen Endgame, you're probably not Marvel fans. So
and what's interesting with that, like you said, not to be too on the nose with it, but that Loki won't be the same Loki character development wise that for the most recent movies. That's going to be like a long time ago Loki, so it could be a whole different character.
Yeah, which I think that's kind of what they're going for, and maybe it'll be it'd be interesting to see if his development kind of follows the same path, because it looks like he's in trouble in this series, like like they're saying like you got to fix this, or like because you did this thing that is messing stuff up. So, maybe it'll kind of lead down the same path of that development that he got to, in Infinity War, So I'm looking forward to that. Should be interesting. Tom Hiddleston has done a great job with Loki. So
have you seen his Thor audition tape?
No. Was it serious?
He auditioned for Thor. He auditioned for Thor, and he has a whole, like, he pulls his arm up and, getting the Mjolnir and stuff. Like, it's pretty funny.
That's great.
It'd be weird to imagine him as Thor and then, Chris Hemsworth as Loki.
Oh, yeah. Imagine that.
It'd be very strange.
Just big, swole Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, that's a Loki. Yeah. But I guess just moving on after that, packed year for Marvel, which is nice after last year. Obviously, we had the circumstances that we did, and some things were pushed around. But so it's good to see Marvel returning to form, at least, and coming out with all those shows and movies. But
I think they were afraid of the Sonic movie last year. They really were afraid.
I think so. Yeah. that was an intimidating beast there. I mean,
I was gonna say the original Sonic was an intimidating beast. That thing that they showed.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I was frightening. I don't know why they chose that route with that character design, but
best thing that could have happened for the movie.
Yeah, again another tangent, but like they totally just took people's feedback. We're like, we'll redesign it. We'll spend another couple $1 million and we'll redesign it. Like,
it worked out.
Do reshoots and
it worked out.
It did work out. I've not seen that movie, but maybe it'll drop on some streaming service, or maybe it's already there and I can go watch it. But but again, in the returning to form, with Marvel, Black Widow is coming out, the movie, on July 9th. So that was supposed to come out, if I'm not mistaken, last May, I think.
You're talking like last May, right? Like 2020.
Was it? Or 2020. Yeah. It was supposed to come out 2020.
I thought that movie did come out. Like, I could have sworn it was like out.
Oh, no.
And it got like pulled. I was very confused.
If it was, I would have seen it.
Well, yeah, I'm saying it must. I feel like it was at last second when they pulled that.
I don't remember it because, obviously this, at least from us in the United States, it feels like the thing got really serious in March-ish, middle of March.
Yep.
And if it was planned for May, it was probably, a few weeks into that, maybe in mid-April or something, they announced that they would be pushing
Yeah.
Black Widow, and I think they pushed it to later in the year, maybe like November or something. I'm probably getting these dates wrong, but it has now ended up in July, which probably for the best. I have not been to a movie theater in a long time, so it'd be nice to go back and feel safe doing so, to go watch this one. And it's apparently a prequel, or like it's not obviously after the events of Endgame. For those who have seen it will know why. But I think it takes place maybe after Civil War. I don't remember exactly.
Interesting.
But it looks like they're going to be delving into Black Widow's past, like her Russian lineage there, and she's got, I think her sister is maybe in it, and then I think there's a character named Red Guardian who's like a Russian Captain America.
Yeah, it's the guy from Stranger Things. Hopper.
What's his name? Yeah, his name's Hopper in Stranger Things. I can't remember. David Harbour.
Oh yeah.
That's his name. Yeah.
Russian Captain America is a good explanation for that.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he's a good guy, like that character. He's like a hero. So, and I think one of, if not the big villain in that movie is Taskmaster.
Is capitalism.
So I don't know if you know much about him.
Oh, sorry.
Is capitalism. As we must fight it. I think it's Taskmaster, and I don't know a whole lot about the Taskmaster character, but I know he is known for like copying the hero's abilities. He's really good at that.
Yeah.
He can like kind of watch someone do some kind of crazy stunt. Like I know Hawkeye, he emulates a lot. So he can like take their, copy their abilities and use it against them. So it'll be interesting to see his character in the MCU, because he's a pretty well-known villain in the comics. So looking forward to seeing that. Just going down the list, I guess, after this, or do you have any comments?
I'm excited for it. It'll be nice to see. We've seen a few shows now. It'll be nice to see another Marvel movie come to the screen.
Yeah.
Because is that coming to Disney Plus? They're gonna want. I think it's one of those like premium $30 ones.
Yes. It's like the Disney Plus Premiere. I think. Yeah,
I'm gonna try my best to not support that, but I might.
I mean, if you think about it, like depending on your comfort level with going into a theater, like this will be a few months from now, so that could change.
Yeah.
But if you pay $30 to get access to watch it, I think it's like indefinite. Like you can watch it as many times as you want.
Yeah.
But what would you pay going to a theater? Obviously, you get a big screen and everything.
I get that. I just love movies, and it scares me to see like, the new Marvel movie's coming out. You can pay to see it right now. I love. That's why I want to see. TV shows have their place. Some movies I feel like are good streaming movies, but like the big movies that like movie theaters rely on, I really want to try to cling on to movie theaters as long as we can.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that in no way are we going like, at least not quickly, to a place where we're not going to have movie theaters. I think COVID obviously impacted everything, but I think if anything going forward, it's just going to be like a concurrent thing. Like we're going to have movies that go straight to streaming for people who want that, and then because there is a market there. But then also, I think theaters they should come back in full force once
I think they'll have a big surge of popularity, and then it'll die back down to normal levels.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like the streaming stuff?
No, I'm saying the movie theaters, when people feel real comfortable, they'll be really popular.
For sure.
Like more so than they were, because people
and then it'll kind of level out.
Yeah.
But that's going to be with everything. It's going to be with restaurants, with theme park, amusement parks, everything. It's going to be crazy. So
that's a good point.
Be careful out there, everybody. But so that's coming out July 9th, Black Widow. Just a couple days ago, the next movie in the list, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So this one I am particularly excited about. Did you watch the trailer for that?
No, I was at work when it
How
came
dare
out.
you.
I was at work when it came out, and I tried to start it up, and then I got busy, and then my YouTube app did that thing where it like forgets what I was doing, and then I forgot what I was doing.
Right, and then you successfully forgot what you were doing.
Yeah, so I'll have to go back and watch that. But I personally don't have a lot of knowledge or background with Shang-Chi.
Yeah, well, and with Shang-Chi specifically, I don't. I looked him up after. Kind of learned a little bit about him, but the part that excites me about this is the Legend of the Ten Rings part of that title. So, do you know who the Mandarin is?
Yeah, he's the cool, goofy actor guy from Iron Man 3.
He's not that guy. So, good thing they saved themselves by not making that guy the true MCU Mandarin, because he is a really big Iron Man villain.
Yeah.
It's too bad that again, I'm not worried about in-game spoilers. You guys need to go watch it. But it's too bad Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. is not going to be around, at least we assume, for that true version of the Mandarin that they're going to really honor in that way. But yeah, so they did that goofy thing that they did with the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, but he's going to be a big force presumably in this movie. I have several. I wish I had pulled them out because I could show you. I have this kind of mini series of comics with the Mandarin and some Iron Man comics. It's like a 6-part series, but he's a big Iron Man villain, so I'm looking forward to seeing that movie and also learning about the character, Shang-Chi, and how he interacts with him. But yeah, so that movie looks really cool. Definitely lots of good hand-to-hand combat scenes. There's this crazy video, like people have clipped out part of the trailer where the actor who plays Shang-Chi, he like catches this knife like midair, and apparently he actually did that, unless he was joking. I don't know that it's a real knife or anything, but he actually caught a prop knife or something out of midair, and it looks so cool. In this combat scene. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. That's I didn't say the release date. That is September 3rd is when that comes. And assuming nothing gets pushed.
Help me out here. I know you said you don't have a whole lot of background with Shang-Chi. What is just generally the powers he had? Is it like a super soldier-esque thing? Like
So I guess in a way, I don't think that he's necessarily. What I looked up is, and what I found out when I looked him up, he's like a master of kung fu and other martial arts. Of course he is. And he has really good mastery over like his chi, I guess. So whatever the energy in your, I think that over the iterations of his character through the Marvel comics, he's gained new powers, and I can't recall them off the top of my head, but I think with a foundation for his character, it's that he is very good at all kinds of martial arts, and like he can use like different weapons, regular like swords and staves and stuff really, really well. And trying to remember one thing specifically I remember seeing is that he took on some character like head on, and that person was impressed. I know that's not a horrible thing, a horrible way to summarize that, but he was able to fight a superhero or supervillain.
Gotcha.
And that kind of cemented his
admirably.
Admirably, he did an admirable job.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so Shang-Chi, looking forward to that, especially with the Mandarin being in there, because he's an Iron Man villain, and I'm an Iron Man guy. So, yeah.
Good stuff.
But so we got 2 more things coming out this year as far as Marvel movies go. We have Eternals comes out on November 5th, and I hope all these release dates are right because I looked them up a couple days ago, and hopefully I saw the latest and greatest for that. But November 5th is Eternals. I don't know if you know anything about them. I don't know a whole lot, but
I just know Jon Snow will be in it. So
I think he will. Yeah, I don't remember a lot of other actors who are going to be in there, and I can't recall like specific character names or anything like that. But yeah, the Eternals are. I think they're kind of like opposite of whatever Thanos was, which I can't remember what his like race is called. But they're basically like the opposite. I would have to look it up. Dang it,
gotcha.
I'm missing it, but yeah, so it's going to be another kind of space adventure, cool. With big, powerful, godlike characters. So that's basically Eternals. But I don't think they've released a whole lot. They've released a lot of like actors who are playing specific characters and stuff. But I don't know that they've shown a whole lot other than that. But probably more to come there.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we have Spider-Man No Way Home, which I'm sure you're excited to talk about this because of the rumors that are basically substantiated at this point. So with Spider-Man, so you have Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and then back in the day you had Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, you had Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man. Garfield, and the rumor is that they're all 3 going to be in there in some kind of crazy Spider-Verse thing. And then Alfred Molina, I believe is his name, who plays Doc Ock. He played him in Spider-Man 2, but the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2. Yeah. He is like basically confirmed that he's going to be in that movie.
Yeah, that's so weird. I don't understand how that works.
I don't know how he's getting away with that.
Yeah, I don't understand how that works unless he's just trolling everybody. Because I'm pretty sure Tom Holland was like, "Oh, it's not happening, guys. Y'all are, it's not actually real." Yeah. And then he's like, "Yeah, it is. It's happening. I'm in it."
It definitely is. I mean, the guy's like 65. He doesn't. What does he care? He's like, what
fair
are you
enough.
guys gonna do? You already paid me. I did my stuff. I walked around with some goofy metal arms. Like, you know, I did my thing, and now I'm gonna tell the world about it. So.
And I know you probably have some stuff to say on this, and I probably do too. But I got to put it out there. I want to see the Spider-Man meme, the pointing of all three of them in like a triangle pointing at each other.
Yeah, I hope the other two guys that you'll come through. Wait, who are you?
If that doesn't happen, this movie will be an absolute failure. That is what has to happen. They have the perfect setup. It has to happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's not 2, it's not 4. They have 3 of them, just like the meme.
Specifically, it's almost like they meant for this to happen. This is Sony's plan all along. Yeah.
Well, and it is really cool when you think about it, because Sony has this Spider-Man, property for a while, at least for the movie rights. And that now that they're finally doing something potentially like it's overdue, because the Spider-Verse is, there's the Into the Spider-Verse movie, the animated movie that did really well. It had like, a bunch of different, Spider-Men. So like, yeah, it'll be cool to see, again, hopefully they do this, cool to see that in a live action, with, characters that, people grew up with, actors who playing, especially Tobey Maguire. I think people in general look back on his Spider-Man fondly, specifically for Spider-Man 2, because that movie was probably the best of his 3.
And those cool Spider-Man 3 memes where he's dancing in the dark suit.
Oh yeah, dude, those will live on forever.
Will live on forever.
Yeah. But yeah, so looking forward to that. Hopefully, true. The first two, the first 2 Spider-Man movies in the MCU have been good.
Yeah.
I like them. I like Tom Holland. Yeah, I like Tom Holland. Playing that character. So, yeah, looking forward to it. But that about wraps up the Marvel movies and TV shows for this year, unless I missed something. I don't think I did, but that's about where we are with Marvel. You want to move on to TVs and movies now?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm going to classify you as the expert on those things.
I wish I was the expert because in contrast to Brendan in Marvel, I'm a big Marvel guy too. I've always been, but historically, I've been more of a DC guy, but my general thought, Brendan was talking about all the release dates and all these good movies coming out. My thought with DC is just how disappointed I am generally.
It's just how dare you?
Yeah, how dare you?
How dare you, Warner Brothers? Why would you do that?
I'm not one of those, I'm not like a DCEU hater. And we can dive into all the stuff wrong with DC if we wanted to, but I don't think it's worth it. I think that horse has been beaten.
For sure.
But I guess the most recent thing that came out was the Snyder Cut Justice League, or should I call it the Son of the Sun and the Night of the Night?
That was for Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, so. Sorry. Oh, I apologize. The whole thing's so goofy. It blurred my mind. I apologize. But the Snyder Cut for Justice League came out, and I'm more interested in the fact that not that this movie exists, or that how the movie was, but the fact that this movie came from the dead in the way it did. It's so strange.
Twitter is a powerful thing, apparently.
It's so weird how that happened. And what's even weirder is all the extra footage that it's had laying around to make this 4-hour movie. I know they did reshoot some stuff, but
right, and they re-CG'd some stuff.
Yeah. But I think that Snyder Cut was a better Justice League. But a better Justice League goes from like a here to like a here kind of thing, my opinion. I thought it was a fun movie. It was too long.
Yes.
But it's also it's hard to say because one of my biggest complaints with the Justice League was the lack of character development and background stuff. Right. And then they gave us that with the Snyder Cut. But then I was like, this movie's too long. So I guess I'm just impossible to please. But I did.
I mean, it was barely a movie. At that point, because it was divided into 8 parts or something.
Yeah, I think it would have done better if they just did a part every.
Probably.
Maybe not a week. I mean, maybe a week.
I don't know. They basically just did that. They just because they didn't release it in that way, but they basically did do that.
They let you know you can go to the bathroom now and pause it.
Yeah, exactly. Intermission. Yeah.
And there was a lot of cool stuff that happened in that movie. A lot of fan service. Flash had some cool moments where. Let me retract that. Everyone had some cool moments. That was one thing I liked. Everyone had a cool thing they did.
It was what, like 24 minutes of slow mo.
The slow mo was a little silly. What was funny, the Flash slow mo makes sense. The Flash.
Yeah.
But there was so many Wonder Woman slow mos of her just like every time she did something cool, it's like this is slow mo.
Yeah.
And it played like the
Which I like that song.
I do too. I do too. I mean, like I can't complain too much.
It hypes me up.
It was a little goofy at times.
Yeah.
What's interesting with that movie is how it ends, and it leads into possible sequels in different directions. There's a lot that can build off of this. The direct sequel of this movie, and then a sequel of some stuff that comes at the end of the movie, or like a follow-up to some stuff that comes at the end of the movie. What's interesting is I don't know if we'll ever see those, or what capacity we'll see those. Like I don't know what their plans are with the Justice League, and now with Ben Affleck not Batman anymore.
But don't worry, the Robert Pattinson Batman is just another universe. So
fine. Earth 2, which Earth 2. DC does have that. I mean
that's true. It's true.
But that that was just them taking advantage of the situation. That was like their ace in the hole. Like it's just another universe all along.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, I'm going to object to any claim that was the plan from the beginning.
It was not the plan from the beginning at all.
Okay, you covered.
Yeah.
Yes, if something were to happen in the future. So if Ben Affleck came back, then that's just my doppelganger from Earth 2. It doesn't matter. So
interesting tidbit. Before we get into Batman, because I definitely want to talk about Batman. Interesting little tidbit on Justice League. I read. HBO, I believe, had like earnings this last week, and they talked about the new subscribers they gained from the Justice League, and they were severely underwhelmed with the amount of people that signed up for Justice League. Like it wasn't.
They were underwhelmed.
They were underwhelmed. Like they did not. It was like under their expectations. Like it didn't do like what they thought it was going to do.
Yeah.
Which I think right then and there, any hopes of like the Justice League sequel coming to HBO Max were just axed right there. I don't think it. I think there was a very slim chance in the first place, and I don't think there's any hope. Yeah, I mean, things can change. I mean, who thought that movie would come out in the first place? But
true.
Yeah, apparently it did not do very well.
Well, I mean,
as far as bringing new people in.
Yeah, and it's just obviously there was a seemingly big outcry for this to happen. The Snyder Cut, all that stuff, because he unfortunately had to leave during the middle of filming, and things changed. And it took a totally different direction. Apparently, I still think so.
Apparently,
I don't think that this Snyder Cut is bad. The first movie was bad.
Bad.
I don't think this one is bad. I still have.
If this is the original movie, I would have been like, oh, okay.
Okay. Like, I wouldn't have had as much to complain about. Obviously, I would have hoped that it would not have been a 4-hour experience. Which. That kind of brings me to the point I had. We talk about this being Zack Snyder's like original vision, and I'm like, no, because first of all, no. Even if it was, he has the benefit of the movies that have come out since then. Aquaman
to build up those characters.
And just the time that people characters, and then so there's more of an appreciation there. So he definitely got to take advantage of that. I still don't think that the Justice League movie needed to happen at all when it did.
Yeah,
it should have been. It should have been later.
They were chasing Avengers, and they were.
Yeah. So I think I've told you I'm not a movie sit here and try to give specific criticisms. I thought it was okay. It was a fun time. There was lots of fan service and goofy things. They threw Martian Manhunter in there for some reason. Like, okay.
Yeah. It was weird. They like promoted that. They like just like put a picture.
Yeah, I know.
Of
That's
Martian...
why I didn't think that was a spoiler. That's why I just said it freely.
I don't understand what's going on in Zack Snyder's brain is a mystery to me. But
to us all.
Interesting guy.
Son of Sun and Night of Night. For those who don't know, that could have been the title
of the Batman v Superman.
Yeah. It's too bad we missed out on that, Jim.
Too bad we missed out. Hey, you got your tickets to Son of the Sun, Night of the Night? No, I don't, because I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like you said, he can say that was his original vision. I can't definitively prove it wasn't, but I will always have the thought that he has the benefit of hindsight. He knows what he could do with that movie to make it better, and he did make it better. But to say that it was his original plan and okay, why didn't it happen? I know he had to leave. I know he had to leave filming or leave production and stuff. But
yeah,
I don't know.
It's hard to believe that it
Call me a skeptic.
Yeah, call me a skeptic too. And the thing is, what I'll we've kind of belabored this topic enough, but what I'll say is I never want a superhero movie to fail because I am at the end of the day I lean to the Marvel side because that's what I started with comics and stuff. I remember first seeing the Iron Man trailer when I was in a Transformers movie. I saw a trailer for Iron Man. I was like, what the heck is that? And that kind of led me down the path. But I at the end of the day, I am a superhero fan. So I never want any superhero movie to fail. I really like the characters in DC. I like how generally there's a darker take on them, which is a nice antithesis to Marvel. There's a nice balance there. So I only want them to succeed. I think they've just gone about it a very strange way.
They were after the dollar signs, and they got, caught with their pants around their ankles.
Yep. No one wants that.
No one wants that, especially not us.
No. So especially not us superhero fans.
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta put our best foot forward. So.
But to keep on the DC train, a movie I am excited about, and I think has potential. I am excited for the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson.
Excited is a strong word.
I am a big Batman guy, and you know what? I was just excited. When I saw the DCEU, let's call it a failure for the most part. It was a critical failure for what they wanted out of it. I wanted them to go back to just standalone superhero movies, which I mean, honestly, the standalone movies.
Succeed with that.
The standalone movies, even in the DC, are the best movies. I think, Shazam, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Man of Steel.
Which it's hard to classify those as standalone, but I know what you mean.
They
are connected.
Yeah, the one hero focus, then
they are good.
And my favorite movies of all time are the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, and I hope that Robert Pattinson. I don't know who's actually directing those, but the Robert Pattinson movies. I hope they can capture some of that magic of Batman Begins, a more down-to-earth, realistic Batman world.
Because that's the character, right? I mean, he doesn't have superpowers. He's just got his brain and his money.
Yeah,
so,
and I just think it works better. It's more interesting. Like when in Justice League, he's Batman still, but at the end of the movie of Justice League, he's just fighting the best he can with one-on-one with the little minions, and then Superman's over there busting everyone up. It's
right. I don't think they did a good job of showing Batman's ingenuity and the way that he's able to succeed by just being smarter than everybody and having all the gadgets and stuff to do that. Yeah, Ben Affleck kind of got – he was either getting messed up or he just wasn't being shown doing anything impressive.
Yeah.
So,
so I'm excited to see a Batman in a more realistic world.
For sure.
I'm assuming it looks darker. He beats
it's darker and
beats the hell out of that one guy on the ground.
That he does.
So he's punch, backhand, punch. Yeah. He goes,
Which we got a good look at that in Batman vs Superman.
Oh yeah.
Remember there was that crazy warehouse fight scene. He punched a dude from standing straight up to
the floor,
like Scorpion, straight down in the dirt. So
in the floor.
That was good. Yeah. That was good. I was like,
well, Batman doesn't kill anybody. That guy is just severely injured for the rest of his life.
I don't care what you say. That guy's dead. Well, no, of course he is. Because then the next scene in Batman vs Superman, he was out there with his Gatling gun on his.
Oh yeah, he just mowed down the whole
his ship.
Those guys are all just tranquilized. They're fine.
Yeah, well, that is the thing. I don't think in the DCEU lore they ever classified Batman as a pacifist. Not like they do in the comics.
That Batman definitely does not care if he kills someone. Ben Affleck,
which is cool. Whatever.
Yeah, Ben Affleck is a murderer and he likes it.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm excited for the Robert Pattinson movie. Sorry, that got delayed also. I think it was originally supposed to come out this year. I don't know if it still is or not. But I haven't heard much about it since that original trailer came out. It looks like it looks like the Riddler and the Penguin will be in that movie, which will be getting some of those more, I don't want to call them niche parts of his rogues gallery, but it's not. They didn't show the Joker.
It's not Joker.
Yeah,
which is what everyone.
Yeah, or Bane or anything like that. It was Riddler and Penguin could be cool. It'd be interesting to see if they're if they're at at odds with each other, if they're teaming up against Batman, or what's going on.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm a fan of superhero movies in general, so it's always nice to see more stuff coming out because that means somebody out there believes in them. As far as people who care about the money, someone out there believes that they can make a money. So I mean, keep trying, guys. You'll get there.
Yeah, and for the people who are skeptics on Robert Pattinson because he was in Twilight or whatever, I was young when Christian Bale was named Batman, but from what I understand, people weren't super excited about that either. And look what came from that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I really haven't seen Robert Pattinson in much. I've probably watched the Twilight movies at some point with my fiance, but I haven't seen him much else. So
he's also
I don't have
Cedric Diggory.
Oh, duh, that's right. Yeah, so Harry Potter. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
But that's about it. I mean, unless there's something I'm missing.
He does a lot of more indie films.
Yeah. Yep. So I would never claim that he's a bad actor or anything. I'm sure that he can do an honest good take on it, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
that's really all I have for DC movies.
Did
and
have one more
TV shows. Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes. So do not forget about the Suicide Squad, not to be confused with Suicide Squad that came out in whatever year that was, several years. The James Gunn directed the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
it's not a sequel, right? It's not a sequel.
I think it's a reboot. I don't know. I just
because there's a lot of returning characters.
I pushed that out of my brain. Yeah. I mean, they really put Harley Quinn at the forefront. Like everyone knows who Harley Quinn is.
Right. Margot Robbie. Just put her face on it.
But yeah, I don't think that the general public is supposed to understand that this is a sequel or a reboot. It's just like the Suicide Squad, and it's gonna be strange how they market that and how many not regular people, it sounds kind of uppity, how many not plugged in people understand this is like a different movie just because of the at the beginning of it.
I mean, the first Suicide Squad, the original did not do that well. There's probably a lot of people who didn't even know it existed. So they're going to see this one. And, I mean, possibly, I don't remember who directed the first Suicide Squad, but James Gunn is attached to this one, and he's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah.
I do trust him to do a better job. That doesn't mean it's going to be great, but and unfortunately, he's having to take on the reins of this project. Probably not because I doubt he had the idea to make another Suicide Squad. But he wanted to take it on, and he's got to take all the mess that is the DCEU. You know. But sure. So we'll see. There's Idris Elba is in the Suicide Squad. He plays dang, I can't remember what his name is, the character, but I like Idris Elba. I think
he's the guy from The Office, right?
He is the guy from those few Office episodes. Yeah. Also Heimdall in Thor.
Oh yeah, he is Heimdall. Yeah.
He plays a good Heimdall. So yeah, I like Idris Elba.
I wonder if they linked up on did James Gunn direct Thor 3, or was that Taika Waititi?
Taika Waititi, yeah.
Okay, Waititi, whatever. Okay, so I was wondering if maybe Idris Elba and James Gunn crossed paths. I'm assuming they crossed paths in some Marvel form.
They probably did, because I don't know what role James Gunn played in any of the, in I guess Infinity Wars when Heimdall was there, and then the Guardians were in that too. So I'm sure they crossed paths. I'm sure they know each other, and each other's style and whatnot. So it has the potential to be good because I mean, I think with the first Suicide Squad, I liked the first half of that movie when they were going through and introducing all the characters and all that stuff. But I think it fell off a bit at the end. It got kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, and then they had Jared Leto's Joker, which is fine. That's all.
Definitely a different take on him, I guess. He's
Yeah. I don't think anything will reach the heights of Heath Ledger. I think for the foreseeable future, they just need to stop doing the Joker until it makes sense to do it. I think with Batman and the different villains and just he has lots of in his rogues gallery, right?
The most recent Joker movie was pretty good. I don't know if you ever saw it.
No, I have not seen that.
But that is a Joker movie, from what we can tell. The Waynes are in it, but that is a Joker movie about.
But it's not necessarily DCEU.
I don't think so. That's probably on Earth too. For all
right, probably. I'm sure Robert Pattinson will encounter Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
at some
I
point,
think they did say that wasn't going to happen, but who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows that?
Yeah, I need to watch that. I think it's on HBO Max or some other streaming service. I do need to watch that.
Yeah.
Because I've heard good things. I don't know why I didn't back in the day, but
it was a good movie. You know, it's a little more serious take, a little like more real world how a person could be
dark. Yeah, he's a pretty dark character.
It tries to give a real world explanation on how a person can be driven to be like that, which was a controversial take when it came out. And I think, I mean, depending on how you watch the movie, you can take different things from it. But I thought it was a good movie overall.
Yeah. That one, and there's still that's just the sad part about DC. They're so jumbled up. I kind of forget about what's coming out, or I haven't seen Birds of Prey.
Yep.
Right, that's another one.
I haven't seen Birds of Prey. I haven't seen the second Wonder Woman.
Birds of Prey is a weird one. I feel like I've heard nothing about that.
You know what was funny is that movie. The movie was doing so poorly when it released. They renamed it Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey in the theaters
just to make sure people knew.
They literally changed the name of
it
while it was out to try to market it, and I don't know
while
what
it
success.
was out.
Yes, while it was out, like it was in the like it was out, and they updated.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I don't know what success they found with that, but yeah, the DCU.
What a mess.
That's why overall my thoughts are I want DC to stick to standalone movies, maybe a little bit of crossover, but I don't think they need to try to, copy Marvel.
Right. No, I think that they found a lot of success. They're isolated films, and that's okay to do that. You don't have to be, because you're not going to be able to capture that feel. Marvel spent 10, 11 years building up to Endgame, and it was just this huge thing. And even
10 or 11 months.
I'm sorry?
DC spent 10 or 11 months.
Oh, yeah. Wow, they really put the work in there.
Yeah.
But even Marvel is not going to be able to capture that same build up to, because the build up to Thanos is the build up that Darkseid needed. So and they're not going to be able to capture that. No one is. It's done. It's everything else will just be compared to it. That comes,
the MCU. It'll be hard to top the MCU to Endgame. That whole experience again. That was
it was incredible.
They might have had some lower points and some higher points within the MCU, but the idea of that was done so well. Over the course of, like you said, 10 years.
Well, it was 2008 when Iron Man came out, which was the first movie, and it was what was that, 2019 with Endgame? It's crazy. People grew up with that. So and it really. I mean, there's just so much.
And they nailed it too. The ending of that was so well done. A lot
Perfect.
of, I think that Endgame came out the same year as Episode 9 of Star Wars and the Game of Thrones Season 8. And I was like, oh my gosh, all these great things are coming to an end. And I think the one that the widest group of people would say succeeded was Endgame.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So now we talked about our movies and TV shows in the comic book world, but we like to dabble in some comic book video games as well.
Let's get back to what we know best.
Back to what we know best, video games.
Yeah.
Do you have any quick starters? Anything you want to?
Well, if we talk about Marvel first, I mean it's pretty obvious. Most recently we have the 2 Spider-Man games, right?
Yep.
And we talked about in the last podcast. We just recently played through those. I think you played through the remaster. That was your first experience with the Spider-Man remaster, right?
Yep.
I had played through it when it first came out in 2018, and so those are awesome. I won't go on that topic too much, but the Spider-Man games, again, if we're just talking about recent games, maybe not recent successes, but the Marvel's Avengers game came out. Was that last year? I guess in September, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. September.
So, it's very sad that one has not succeeded, and I haven't even attempted to, it's gone on sale multiple times for like $20-$25, and I could jump in at that price, but I just don't want to be disappointed. And I've heard the story is pretty good, but then you go to the post game and multiplayer stuff, and it's just
it's
overloaded
sad when you
with
bust with the Avengers. That's
probably
the biggest media thing right now. Like
Marvel's
Avengers.
Everyone knows about it.
And then
comic book fans, regular fans alike.
Yeah, it's crazy how poorly that game's done.
Yeah. And it's a Square Enix game. On top of that, a published game, which
Crystal Dynamics, I believe.
Crystal Dynamics developed, but Square Enix published. Yeah. But yeah, so I think I've got a couple friends who've played it, and they I've heard decent things about the story, but again, it's like overloaded with microtransactions, and it's just kind of repetitive in the end game, and I just nothing about it really grabbed me. Maybe from the very first time they revealed it, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I'd like to see more. And then once I did see more, it was like I wasn't all that excited. But
it's funny that you mentioned that it kind of grabbed you at the beginning. I think the MCU was a blessing and a curse for this. Having the Avengers name was big because, obviously the Avengers are a huge franchise. But also a lot of people, they had like an imposter syndrome. A lot of people didn't like what the characters looked like because they weren't what the MCU characters were. And that was a big turnoff for some people. It was like, stunt double Iron Man.
Right, they expected Iron Man to look like Robert.
Can you imagine the budget if they did a whole game with the actual Avengers actors?
Their
likenesses?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, but imagine that happening, but it being the same. It would. I'm sure they didn't meet their what they wanted to profit wise, and they would have been even more.
Yeah.
But so that's a kind of too bad that on that one. But something else that did come out recently, which I'll probably never play, is Iron Man VR. Also came out.
I never say never. PSVR 2.
We'll see. But VR gaming is my preferred way to play. I don't think I've ever played a VR game. Just like, I go to games to sit down and comfortably play, and so VR is just kind of my, it's really not my thing. But if I were to play, I'd probably pick up that one first because again, Iron Man's my guy. So I think I heard good things about it. I haven't really looked into it much. I don't know. Have you heard anything about Iron Man VR?
Nothing of note. No.
Right.
I think there's a Batman VR game also. But cool. You don't do it. You just walk around the Batcave.
It's just a walking simulator.
I'm pretty sure you walk around the Batcave.
This is my Batmobile.
I'm pretty sure that's literally what it is. You're solving
this is Alfred.
detective crimes in the Batcave or something. I don't know. I haven't looked into the game.
Detective crimes in the Batcave on the computer.
Awesome. I'm not an expert on the subject, but I know you don't fight people.
Right. Oh, fantastic. Which Batman is not known for, right?
No.
He never fights.
Never. That's not his MO.
Yeah, but as far as Marvel video games go, the only I have, a recent game is the Ultimate Alliance game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order.
Yep.
Which I'm sure captured interest of people, given that the Black Order is Thanos's, his crew. So I think I heard decent things about that game.
Yeah.
A resounding success, but that came out. Was it last year? I think also that last year was just Blur. I think that came out last year.
Either that or 2019. It might have been 20.
It may have been late 2019. I don't remember.
I remember it being at the last E3, wasn't it? Like the actual E3.
I think so. Yeah.
So I don't remember
the last
if that was
real E3. Yeah.
I don't remember if that was when it was coming out or if it was an announcement for it. It might have been an announcement for it.
Right.
But yeah.
Either way, recent. But yeah, I think that game was probably best played with friends,
for sure.
A lot of games are, but
it's definitely a co-op focused game.
Yeah.
Because even if you're playing by yourself, I think you have multiple people on the screen at once.
Right.
So you'd rather those be real people that you're playing with than.
Right.
Yeah.
But definitely, as far as recent games go, the Spider. And I thought kind of a favorite of mine as far as Marvel games go. I don't know if you ever played it, but Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
I have played.
Great experience.
I've played some iteration of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah. Well, that game is great. Lots of good moments and there with the different Marvel characters and all the random Capcom characters. But yeah, I still classify that as a Marvel game, and I played that a lot today on PS3. I would play with some friends occasionally, so that was a good.
Are any of those available on the Switch in any way?
So the most recent Marvel vs. Capcom game is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I don't know if it's available on the Switch, and I also don't know that game was really a success. So that's why I mentioned the one that I like, but not the one that nobody likes. So
Hey, I bet you if you want to get a cool new pickup for your game room, I'm sure there's a Marvel vs. Capcom arcade one-up. That could be
oh,
a
you
cool.
think so?
Probably is.
I mean, that would be really cool. Yeah, because I know some of the. I think Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is the one that it's a little bit older, obviously, but one that a lot of people like. It's got a different art style to it. I think I played that one maybe once or twice before. But yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that's literally an assumption. I have no actual knowledge if that exists, but I imagine it does in some way. There's that Marvel. There's a Marvel pinball machine from Arcade One Up.
There is, and I think it's really expensive. It's that one. At least one that I've seen recently. It's got like a screen, right? It's not like
it's a digital pinball game. Yes.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense to me, but
apparently that's a thing. If I'm not like a huge pinball guy, but if I'm going to buy a pinball machine, I want a pinball machine.
It will be a real pinball machine. Otherwise, I can play it on my phone.
Yeah.
But
don't. Get me,
so I thought
I'm not a pinball expert, so don't.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But I thought, just kind of in the spirit of talking about Marvel and games, I'd mentioned a favorite of mine. And then, do you have anything to add to the Marvel games?
For Marvel games, no, not really. Basically, I'll just touch on the Spider-Man games because they're the most recent. Those games are a lot of fun. Just moving as Spider-Man, swinging around New York is like that.
I couldn't do it better. Like I couldn't have made it better.
It's one of the most important things for games for me. Like, there's games that I'll play for the story or for the multiplayer aspect, but a game that's just literally fun to move in is really important. Like, it's why I like a lot of Mario games. And Spider-Man games are fun to just move around in. Even if they just gave me that game with no story or objectives and it's like, just run around, I would probably still buy it.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah. Do that for 30 hours.
Yeah, it was still fun just doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that goes for both the games, Miles Morales and the Amazing Spider-Man.
Right, for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
I guess, again, in the spirit of talking about Marvel games, one thing that I would love, and I know they've done a few probably movie tie-ins, I guess, but I want a true standalone Iron Man game. I think that would be awesome. Be kind of like a flight simulator type deal, because be flying around. Iron Man's. If you guys can't tell already, he's my favorite superhero.
I wonder how much of that is just the fact that it'd probably be hard to control flying and then shooting in different directions.
Yeah. Well, and I know that, like I said, there's been some games, and I don't really know how. I'm pretty sure none of them did super well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would take some thoughtful, design to make it feel good.
For sure.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's about what I had as far as games go. I guess we should jump into DC, which is probably a little bit more interesting. Maybe not more interesting, but equally interesting.
I would say equally. They're pretty fairly stacked here.
Yeah.
The obvious one is the Batman Arkham games. The Arkham games are great. My personal favorite is Arkham City. Arkham City was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Arkham Asylum I'm pretty sure I played Arkham Asylum first. And Arkham City is just like a bigger version of that.
Yeah,
Arkham City is
Yeah.
pretty contained when you think about it. Arkham Asylum is. But Arkham City is that was a lot of fun. I think that's on the Wii U. It was like a launch game for the Wii U.
I think you're right.
I don't know if it's on the Switch or not. I'm surprised they haven't done a Arkham collection.
They have, and it's funny that you say that because they definitely do have some kind of Arkham collection out there. There's actually 4 Arkham games.
Yep.
One of them being Arkham Origins, which was made by not Rocksteady. It was WB Montreal, I believe. Yep. And that one's not included in that collection. I'm pretty sure it's just the 3: Asylum, City, and Night.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on Switch, or I'm sure someone will get mad in the comments below, but and correct me. But I don't know Switch, but I know they have done an Arkham collection.
No, I think WB Montreal. They're the ones making the what's it called?
Knights?
Gotham Knights. Yeah.
Yep.
And then Rocksteady's working on the Suicide Squad game.
Right. So
interesting.
Which I believe the Suicide game is set in the Arkham universe, but the Gotham Knights game is not.
Yeah.
It's like a standalone thing, and what we know is that Batman's he's
gone.
dead apparently, and he's gone.
The Court of Owls, they have him, have his body.
Yeah, which I don't know.
I think it'd be cool if you get to fight, if he fights you as like whether he's under control or reanimated or whatever.
I need to think about that. That would be cool.
But play as like Robin or Nightwing or something like that, and you're having to fight Batman. He's just absolutely, mowing him down. That'd be fun.
For sure.
Yeah. So the Arkham games are all a blast. I almost feel like the Spider-Man games kind of took some notes from those, as far as the combat. And just the general feel of how to get around and
Lots
stuff.
of games did. The Arkham combat system, I mean, it's been,
it's a genre within itself almost.
For sure. The punching and counter system, like just that, that rhythm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That was good. You haven't played Arkham Knight, though, have you?
I have not. I've watched it came out in a time where I didn't have the funds to get Arkham Knight, but I did watch a playthrough of Arkham Knight, so I know how that game goes. I do have it downloaded also. Once I find the time to play it, it is on my PlayStation.
It was on PlayStation Plus a while back.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll get to that game eventually. I
think people can argue with me all you want, but I think that is experience because people don't like the
Batmobile stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's like you don't have a lot of that. You don't have to do. I mean, there is story stuff that you have to use it with, but I think that it's still done pretty well. I think it's fun, and the stuff that like the game is so much more than that. It shouldn't be docked just because it has something that maybe isn't perfect. I think that it's still, in my opinion, the definitive Batman experience. I think it's just as satisfying combat-wise and stealth-wise and all that stuff as the other games, and it's just bigger and better. I like that game more than the other two, but I understand people's perspective. Yeah.
So other DC games in a different genre entirely, I have Injustice 2 as one of my favorites.
Have you played the first one?
Yes and no. I have not played Injustice on the consoles, but I did play the mobile adaptation of Injustice on my phone, which is a completely different game.
Were you playing that like in college at some point? I feel like I remember.
Probably. I had played it late high school, so I'm sure I did play it.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's not. I don't have a whole lot of knowledge in Injustice 1, but Injustice 2, I do enjoy that game. I thought it was interesting at the how the story's told. The whole Injustice universe is cool. How it's like
for sure
Superman gone bad kind of deal.
Yep.
And how they would handle that.
Right.
And I like the little story within it's almost like a big movie, where you just gotta like occasionally, like beat someone down real quick. I played it on like a.
Oh yeah, but that's how a lot of fighting.
Yeah, I played it on one of the lower difficulties just so I could like basically watch the movies.
Right. Fair enough. Wow, it's worth the $60, isn't it?
I did play some online with Batman. I mained Batman. I had like one combo. One combo, series. I remembered series of inputs, and then if I didn't hit it, I was just like jab, crouch kick, crouch kick, crouch kick. I'm not good at 2D fighters in the slightest. I have very little. So especially not those. The more traditional 2D fighters, I have very little experience in. Basically, if it wasn't Injustice, I probably wouldn't have played it.
Right.
Yeah, that's made by NetherRealm, the people who make Mortal Kombat.
Yep, they know what they're doing over there. Those are good games.
Yep. You have any other interesting DC games come to mind?
One thing that I've never played, but it's always just. I've seen so many goofy things about it, but Superman on the N64.
Superman 64.
Such a goofy thing. I don't have much to say about that. I just think
best part about that game. So first of all, it's like Superman, we need you. First, go fly through these rings over here.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, I think you like. I haven't played it, but I've watched people talk about it and like reviews of it. I think you like. Capture / fight Darkseid like in a parking garage.
Pick him up.
And you like pick him up and like deliver him to the authorities. Like
here you go, sir.
Here you go, average cop. And they put him in the back of the car.
Yeah, I remember I was looking up so good.
I don't think the game's called Superman 64. I think it's just called Superman, right? On the 64. Everyone calls it Superman 64. That's what it's synonymous with.
Infamous, yes.
Yeah. that'd be a funny game to pick up to have for the for the old collection, just to have.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I wonder if it's hard to get.
I have no
that's a good
idea.
question I'll call out to Bird Dog Gaming and leave a comment. Get or if you have it for your collection, I'd like to know.
I would like to know as well.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, and I guess just probably an unreasonable want for a DC game. It'd be cool to have a good Superman game, but I know it'd be really hard to balance.
Yeah, I don't know how you make a Superman game.
But again, in the same vein as Iron Man, kind of flying around and almost like what Anthem tried to be with the flying around and stuff. That feel. That would be cool to experience.
Yes, so. Superman in general, movies, comics, games, in general. He's a weird character for me because he has like the ultimate plot armor of like he's stronger than everybody, unless they have kryptonite in which he's completely powerless, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like I mean,
there's reasons for that.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to come up with a compelling Superman game, or he's either fighting like the celestial power terrible, and he's like beating him up. Or he's like getting beat up by Batman because he has kryptonite.
Yeah, Batman has kryptonite, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know how you make a game out of that. That's
right.
But I would love to be proven wrong.
Right. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll see.
One day we'll get a Son of the Sun versus Night of the Night game.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, cool. Anything else on Marvel and DC?
No, I think we pretty well covered it. Yeah, lots of possibly weird stuff to look forward to with DC. So. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, let's shift gears back here from comics and just back into the regular world of games. And this topic, it's kind of like I'm going to keep this broad. Basically, it's games you want either remade from the ground up, or ported or upgraded for the current gen.
Yeah.
Just in general, games you want on your current system that existed in some form in any capacity, or maybe even a sequel, something of the sorts. You have anything that just comes out to you off the bat?
Well, so this was this was a really difficult topic for me when we talked about it. I guess because I don't know, when I look back on my catalog played, there's not a whole lot that either like truly needs a remake or hasn't already received one. Like, had you asked me this question however many months ago, like a few months ago, before they announced the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes, that would have been my number one, because that's my favorite generation of Pokemon. They've done all for other games. Like, that's what I want. Because we have this the Nintendo Switch that everyone just wants every game possible. Like, I want my favorite Pokemon game on it
for sure,
even if it's just like a straight port. That's not what. Yeah, and that's not what this one's going to be. But so I'm really looking forward to that. So that would have been my main answer. But so I thought for a while about games that I played when I was younger and really good, but could, like, with a fresh coat of paint, it could really change a lot of things.
Yeah.
The game series that I thought of specifically, and just two iterations of them, because there's one game that's a little bit more modern, but the BioShock games, I think, would definitely be well served with maybe not remaster. I guess a remaster, like some kind of collection, but like a true 4K, PS5, Xbox Series X quality, game, with the BioShock games. And the reason why I say that is because the series has have you played any of these games?
I have not. I have not.
Do you know? I assume you know somewhat about them and like their setting and stuff, or do you not know anything?
Actually, surprisingly little.
Okay.
I've heard that. So just to get in front of this real quick, I've heard the first game has a big plot twist, and I've purposely not spoiled myself on what it is in case I play it one day.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
that is impressive.
I have no idea what the
you may have
twist...
even seen it and then you wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
Or you probably wouldn't remember it anyways. But there is a big twist on. I played BioShock 1 and 2 when I was, a lot like a, kind of survival horror, more in the, there's not a whole lot of survival. Like, you get what you have, all the ammo and stuff that you need. You go around, you're shooting things, but you're exploring this really cool, like, underwater city called Rapture, which I think that it's just some of the most impressive, like, environmental, like, feeling that the game, conveys. Like, it's awesome. And I think that, a lot of the complaints nowadays about those games is just how they've aged. How they don't feel the best to play, maybe.
Yep.
Even though they tell really cool stories and they have such a cool environment, especially when you first enter like the underwater city. It's like this. It's an iconic moment. But I think that those games. The reason why I asked for maybe remakes of the first two is because, well, the third one it takes place in a totally different setting. I've never even finished that one, but I know about how. And I think that, I guess logically, I'm pretty sure they're making another one in the series, but it's going to go to a different environment. But I want to return to that, the underwater city and like all of that, and it's just amazing. I want to see it in like the best possible visuals that they can be. I think that would be really cool to have some kind of remake, or at least in the next iteration of the series to go back to a similar environment, or maybe go back and tell it in some weird story way to get back to that that environment. So that was the first thing I thought of, outside of Pokemon, which I'm already getting, so spoiled there. But yeah, so but I'll let you take one before I go to anything else. You have anything on your list as far as a remake goes?
Yes, like I came at the word remake from a lot of different angles with this, and I guess the first one I'll do is one of my favorite games ever, and a game within its own series recently got remade very well with Demon Souls. I would love a Dark Souls 3, like Demon Souls-esque, fully built up from the ground up. Dark Souls 3, I love that game.
That one's a tougher sell for the people making it, but because I feel like there's not enough reason,
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it needs a remake, but I would love a remake of that, because I played Demon Souls, and as much as I liked Demon Souls, I couldn't stop thinking, just like, what if this was just Dark Souls 3?
Yeah, which is just better in every way.
It's just a better. It's a a sequel of a sequel of a sequel of that game,
right?
For the most part, it's not directly in line, but
right.
I think that game is a better, more modern game, and seeing that game as how Demon Souls was presented, because the presentation of Demon Souls was, I think, one of the best things I've seen, so far. Like,
it was awesome.
The graphics, even what impressed me with that game is when you're in Boletaria, and you look out in the distance. Even in the distance, things are super high res.
Oh yeah,
like way out. Things that aren't even part of the map, just way out. Right. Normally, you get like some washed out JPEG image, but no, that game was beautiful, and I would love to see that for Dark Souls 3.
I absolutely agree.
Not expecting it. I'm not demanding it. I'm just saying it would be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, if you don't mind, I could segue from that choice there as far as a remake goes into mine. Sure. And it kind of it treads the line between an upgrade. Well, not necessarily a remake, but I upgrade for this game and a sequel. So Bloodborne. I'm not saying if it got an update or a fully fleshed out next gen upgrade, I don't think I would play through it again like fully. I'd probably dabble in it, but I would love a sequel. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But I would like a sequel to that game, because I mean, talk about lightning in a bottle, right? Like that world is incredible, and that was the first Souls game I had ever played. Back in 2015, I had just got my PS4. I think Bloodborne came out in February or March, I think, of that year.
Yep.
And so I had Destiny, I had Shadow of Mordor, I had that game when I first got, and then I got this game. I was like, this looks really cool. I've never played a game like this. I'd heard about the Dark Souls game, and it beat me up bad. Yeah. I think I've told you guys the story about how I got stuck. If you remember that bridge with right after the big old spider, there's an NPC enemy.
Such a funny random thing to get stuck on with all the stuff you went through, and then you get stuck on that.
I know. He had my number, and it's funny because eventually maybe even longer than that. It might have been like a year. But I waited a while before I went back, and I came back and I beat him in a couple tries. So it's just one of those things, like one of those growth opportunities. Yeah. But anyways, it would be really cool. I really don't think we're going to see it, but it'd be great to see a sequel. I think there's some complications there because it's FromSoft, but it's also like a Sony property.
Sony Japan, which the studio that they're basically, not, I won't say dissolving, but definitely not. Sony Japan is not the focus right now, so I would.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting my hopes up, but I mean, at the very least, it'd be cool to have a next gen upgrade, because Bloodborne was notorious for having pretty bad frame rate. it like would consistently dip below 30 frames per second. So it would be cool to see that one. It already looks great, but really like 4K, like, ray tracing, all that stuff, all those buzzwords with the PS5 incorporated, and then the loading times, which loading times weren't great either.
Nope. I think that
would be a cool thing to see.
I think they just didn't want to compete with Demon's Souls.
And that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it'll happen eventually.
Right. Hopefully so.
Cool.
What else you got?
These next, I have 3 more games, and these are more like traditional, like, remakes. They start from the ground up remake of a game.
Yeah, yeah.
And the top of my list, one of my first games ever on the Game Boy Color was Zelda Oracle of Ages. And I don't know why I got that game. I didn't know what Zelda was. My mom got me that game. I was like 4. And I just wandered, for presumably months, years. I don't know. I couldn't read when I got that game. I didn't know what to do. But going back as a a teenager or young adult, whatever. I like those games a lot. I'm very nostalgic for them. And the cool thing about that game, Oracle of Ages, is there's the sister game, Oracle of Seasons.
Oh yeah.
They have a password system where, like, if you beat one game, it just gives you a password, and if you enter that password into the other game, you basically are playing like a new game plus of the new one. And when you beat that game, there's a whole new like end game, like a whole new storyline, new characters, new, like, the true final boss, new weapons, new, like, everything.
That's awesome.
And it's not even like I literally did not know it existed when I was a kid until I was old enough and the internet existed in a more
right, and you knew how to use
thoughtful
the internet.
capacity. But yeah, that was the craziest thing for me was that, and I would love to see. It's not going to happen. It's Nintendo. They're gonna, if they remake those games, maybe like Link's Awakening, how they remade it in that art style. Because I think it's the same developer. I think it was I know Capcom developed Oracle of Ages and Seasons. I don't remember if they developed Link's Awakening or not. But a remake like Link's Awakening, but with Oracle of Ages and Seasons would be awesome. But it'll definitely be 2 separate games for $60 each.
You can pretty much guarantee that.
They're going to Pokemon the hell out of that. They're not going to allow. If they put both those games on one cart for $60, I would be very surprised. Yeah. And they'll probably have like a Delector's Combo Edition pack, and it's going to be $120.
It'd probably be $150, and they give you like goofy map or something.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I would love to play those games and experience. For sure. I think that was my first Nintendo game, because I think all the other games I had on my Game Boy Color was like Spider-Man and like Power Rangers and like other random shovelware.
Right.
But I think that was my first Nintendo-made or published game. I would love to see that remade on the Switch.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I would play those for sure, because I had never played Link's Awakening back in the day, but I knew it was a day one purchase with the remake for Link's Awakening out. So that was a really good time. So it'd be cool to see them do something similar with those games, because I believe I have Oracle of Seasons on my 2DS. I don't think I've ever beaten it. I think I had a good time while. Yeah, but
they're
the thing is,
older games. If you don't have nostalgia for them, they could be a little tough to go back to.
Right.
Yeah, and they had a weird thing. Link's Awakening fixed it, obviously, but the Game Boy Color only had 2 buttons, so you were constantly having to go into your menu and switch out items.
Man.
And the sword wasn't even locked to a button. The sword was just like an item, so you could you could be without a sword. And Link's Awakening did good to fix that. But
right. All the buttons to work with. So
yeah. Any other thoughts on those games?
Oh no, I mean I did have one just goofy one to mention as far as remake goes.
Well, before you get into that, let me segue, because this next game I want is it's also a Zelda game. So I guess we'll stay on the Zelda topic while we have it. I played this game for the first time on the Nintendo online service thing, and that is Zelda 2, which is Zelda 2 is like the black sheep of the Zelda series. So Zelda 1, it's a top-down adventure game. It's old and clunky, but it basically created the genre. Yeah. Really important game. Zelda 2 is a 2D side-scrolling adventure game with like a weird open-world map thing.
Really goofy.
And, the gameplay wasn't terrible. It felt like about what any other NES game felt like. But what was bad about that game was it was so obtuse and like it wasn't even. I feel like it was poorly translated. Like you don't know what to do. Like hardly ever.
Right.
It'll be like you got thing. It's like what does thing do? I don't know where to bring thing. It's like, and the NPCs would be like you find me, and like it's like I don't know what you want me to do. Like so.
Might as well just play that with a guide.
I beat that game 100% with a guide. I had the guide literally going along. I did like a chapter or a dungeon at a time. I would love to see that game remade. Same gameplay ideas, same general structure, same map and everything, but a little more obvious what you're supposed to do. Maybe a map with like a pointer of where you're supposed to go or some sort of quest log. Something a little more on the nose to help guide you through that game because I think that could be I think that would have been a much better game higher on my list had I understood what I was doing. I think I save stated my way through that game too because if you die in that game, I think you just go back to like the spawn equivalent, like, which is not fun.
Right. No, of course not.
Yeah. So I think if they modernized that game and remade it, I think it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
For
sure. Yep.
So what was the other game that you had?
Well, this is probably gonna make a lot of people mad, but I'm not in the business of making people happy. But I think that Super Mario 64
that was my last game. That was my last game.
Because not to insult the history of it. I understand the game, and but Mario 3D All Stars came out last year, and I bought that because 2 of the 3 games on that, Mario 64 and Sunshine, I had never played. Galaxy is, one of my favorite games ever. Galaxy 2 specifically. Yep. But I played Mario 64 just because I felt like I needed to play it as a video gamer. Like I needed to play it. And I did, and I struggled because it was just. I mean, I don't think I need to go down the list of things that people don't like about it. But the camera was really rough. And
camera's just weird. Like it's not like a free like right stick to turn camera. It's like shift camera, shift camera, shift camera.
Yes. It takes a lot of getting used to. And
but it also kind of follows you around. If you're in a big open area, it'll just kind of follow you around. That's when I feel like it's the best, when you don't need to touch the camera and you can just kind of run around your own. But.
Right, and I understand that it was, like treading new ground with that game, right? Like, I mean, it was one of the first, polygon 3D games, if not the first. So I understand how important it is, but I wish I could experience that game in those levels, environments, and stuff with, like, let's say the controls and the visuals of Super Mario Odyssey. Like that would be incredible. So I seriously doubt that's going to happen. But I feel like if it was going to happen, it would have.
It'll happen eventually. They definitely are sitting there like, in 20 years, we're going to make them buy this again.
Maybe for the 50th anniversary of Mario.
The 50th anniversary, they'll finally make a proper remake.
Years. Yeah.
And I'll buy it for $100 because games will be $100 then.
Probably. Inflation, if that goes. Yeah. But I'll be a 40-year-old man playing Super Mario 64.
Good old Mario. Everyone loves Mario.
Yeah. So that was kind of the last one on my list. Be funny, and just to highlight how much I did struggle playing that game for the first time on the Switch. It was rough, but I got through it. I got the minimum amount of stars and moved on to Sunshine.
So interestingly enough, there is a somewhat like remake or port of Mario 64, and that's on the DS. I'm pretty sure that launched with the DS, but what sucked about that game was the DS had a D-pad, and you moved with a D-pad. It wasn't full 3D. So a lot of people complained about that. I didn't because I was a kid and I loved the game. I got used to it. But what's really cool, that's a really good 3DS game because the 3DS does have that it's not joystick. It's like a pad. Whatever you call it.
It's kind of like a joystick. It's like a
flat
submerged joystick. Yeah.
If you play that on a 3DS, which you can just put the cart in the 3DS, and it works. All DS games work on 3DS.
Right.
It works in the omnidirectionally, which is crazy because the DS didn't have that. It had the forward D-pad, but it's a great 3DS game. You just and I discovered that just like randomly one day. I was like, I wonder if this game is any fun, and it totally is. So I would love to see like a Odyssey-esque Mario 64.
That would be really
a lot
cool.
of fun.
Yeah, for sure. That's about all I had.
Yeah, this one's it's almost like changing subjects and almost like not. I mentioned games that we want like a sequel to or like the next iteration of or something like that.
Right.
And one that comes to mind for me is whether or not Mario Kart 9 exists currently, or what's going on with Mario Kart 9, or
Yeah.
because
I wouldn't be surprised if the game was already made and just sitting around waiting to be released.
It's just sitting in the vault. Yeah. So so Mario Kart 8 obviously is the best-selling game on the Switch. It was the best-selling game on the Wii U.
Yeah.
And it's a monster. There's almost no motivation or design because like the Switch is selling great.
Incentive? Yeah.
The Switch is selling great. Mario Kart's selling great. Why put another Mario Kart game out?
Right.
And you got to think like the team that makes Mario Kart, they made ARMS. And I don't know.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow, cool.
Now, I don't know if, I mean, I'm sure I don't know the inner workings of Nintendo, but I'm sure they've worked on other stuff too. But I don't think that team specifically has released another game since ARMS. So you got to imagine Mario Kart 9 sitting
ARMS
there on the
2.
ARMS 2. Yeah.
ARMS 2.
You got legs.
You have to admit
feet.
that is what the money maker is. It's ARMS 2.
It's just called feet, hands, legs.
Yeah, feet. Yep.
You got to imagine Mario Kart 9 sitting on a shelf. They're just waiting.
Yeah.
Which
well,
I guess
and it's obviously going to happen.
Yes.
Is it going to happen soon? It depends on how you define soon. Probably not in the next year. I mean, maybe some kind of semi-concurrent release with whatever the next iteration of the Switch is.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, the two things I want to know from you, what do you think the, like when and how is this game going to come out? And what's the hook? Like what's the, like for example, like, Double Dash had the two carts, then Mario Kart 7 had the gliders, and Mario Kart 8 had the upside down,
It's open world.
Open world? That'd be pretty cool. Like a Forza?
No. I mean, well, and maybe this is just kind of a question, but I'm not sure that it needs a hook. I think more
just be a good Mario Kart game.
Yeah, which if it is, it's going to look the same or certainly better.
It's going to look. Mario Kart 8 is a beautiful game on the Switch.
Oh, it's one of the best looking games on the Switch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That was a port.
Right. Yeah. I mean, call it a port. I mean, it's another one of those games that's going to go down in history as being forever synonymous with the Switch.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is kind of how it is, because that's the definitive way to play. But yeah, I'm trying to think of a good hook. Again, I don't know that it needs one. It'd be cool if they brought something like Double Dash back with like a, Nintendo has, they could do whatever they want with it as long as they make it worse somehow, which I don't know how they could, but they could do, the Double Dash, thing, and that would be, people would like that. People would love that because I know Double Dash is like, pretty much some people's like favorite Mario Kart game, right? Like that's the definitive experience for them. So yeah, as far as when, I don't see it coming out on this current Switch. It would have to be on whatever the next thing is. If that's the Switch Pro, okay. If it's totally like the next, like the Switch 2, I mean maybe again, because what is the incentive for Nintendo to make another Mario Kart game? It is consistently selling very well. Everyone buys a Switch and they buy Mario Kart with it. So it's tough to say, when. I think it would have to be the next Switch, and a hook, I don't know that they need one.
So I do have a hook, and I am going to slightly disagree with you on the release of it. I do think it'll be on the Switch, but when a Switch Pro exists, I think there will be one on the Switch. I don't think they know how well it's selling. It's like 35 million or something stupid.
Right.
It's the best-selling racing game in U.S. history.
Ever.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to pass up the user base they're going to have. When that game comes out, they're going to have about 100 million Switches out there. They're going to drop that game, and it's going to sell 30 million more units. And then they're going to release the deluxe edition 3 years later on the whatever the next Switch is and sell another 30 million units. And they saw it happen. They know it will work. They're going to do it.
I mean, okay, they didn't necessarily see that. They can only sell so many on the Wii U, and so it found its success on. It did,
yeah, sure. It did find
Switch.
It found new people and stuff, but I would be willing to bet it sold like 8 million on the Wii U or something like that. I'd be willing to bet like 6 million of those people bought on the Switch. I'm just
bought it again. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Because I mean, the DLC and stuff like that. This package.
Yeah.
People just kind of left their Wii U to collect dust. So yeah, they got to have Mario Kart still. So you're gonna buy that. So
I think it'll come out within the next couple of years. I think it'll sell like hotcakes again.
Absolutely.
As far as the hook, I do have a kind of an idea. So I want the multiplayer and like the regular like arcade racing to be the same, like Mario Kart 8. I think that game is like the most fun racing game I've ever played.
Yeah.
I want there to be some sort of single player that isn't just like the Grand Prix, because they can still have the Grand Prix in there. That's easy.
Yeah, like a story mode.
Yeah, it's a story mode. Have you ever played Diddy Kong Racing?
No, but I know about it.
So basically, you're in this like world, like you're dropped in on this like thing, and you just drive around, and you like there's like the NPCs, and there's like basically you drive up to like say like one was like a rocket ship. You drive up to the rocket ship, and it's like, oh, you want to go on the rocket ship, and you go to like the space track, and you fly and then you have like there's like bosses. There's like bosses. You fly into the boss arena, and you race the boss. Like they could totally do that, like a little mini open world.
There are other games like Crash Team Racing.
Yeah,
I think stuff like that, right? So they could just make this totally unbeatable like experience with a Mario game, because Mario Kart, the thing that everyone's playing, and the thing that everyone thinks of when it comes to racing games. So they could just take all this like other stuff that has been successful in other games and just make it completely unbeatable if it isn't already. So
the other thing about Diddy Kong Racing, it's not just karts. They have like basically like water races. You're like basically like an inner tube, like what are those things on like the Louisiana bayous, like little like air.
Yeah.
They have those. So they have like water races with that, and then the cooler ones they have planes. With the planes you fly up, down, left,
definitely
and right.
heard about that.
That would be crazy in Mario Kart on like a Switch.
Because we got barely a taste of that with the glider, But if they made just like full-fledged just planes, I mean, there's so much they can do, and I want to say that Nintendo knows this. They know.
I think they know a lot of things, and they're just like, well, one day when we need it.
Yeah.
But for sure. Anything else come to mind for remakes or anything like that?
No, again, this was a difficult list for me. I don't know why, because a lot of things are getting remakes.
Final
if we talk about
Integrate's getting an upgrade.
It is, and I'm so excited for that. I had such a good time playing that game. The combat system really clicked for me, towards the end. It was I've only played through it once, and deserves another playthrough. So.
Yeah, it's an upgrade. That game would be perfect for this topic. It was a remake, and then it was an upgrade. So it was
both, and then more content. So
I'm excited about that game on the Crazy Hell Week.
Oh yeah, the best kind of hell.
Yeah, exactly.
If you ask me, so yeah.
Cool. Well, I think I'm ready to go on to game time.
Is it that time? Okay.
So last week you made me a fool. You earned your honor rather quickly. I gave you a very low bar. Well, I didn't realize it was a low bar, but you just like calmly stepped over it. So this week
I'm a very tall man. So
very tall man. Yes.
Low bar,
yes. So I'm gonna have you guess games again with my hints. 3 games, same rules as last time. You get a point for each. Whatever. I'm gonna challenge you to get 12 points this time out of 18. Okay. I'm giving you 1 guess per question or per hint.
Okay.
So 3 games, 18 total points available. You need to get 12 to have your honor. Once again, if you didn't know it, but your honor was stripped from you at the beginning of this podcast, and you've given this entire podcast without any honor.
Right. So it's very unfortunate, and I knew I felt like a dark presence.
You should have expected it, honestly.
Yeah. I thought. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'll try to do my best.
So game 1, let me. I also ask. I know you can see my screen. I ask that you do not look at the my OBS here because I have the. Oh no!
Where am I supposed to look?
Never mind. I fixed it. I apologize. I renamed them. Ignore that.
Okay. You said you were going to rename them 1, 2.
I did. Okay. So game 1, your first hint is this game is space sci-fi.
Oh. Okay. Dead Space.
No. And this is just to backtrack. This is like the easier one. So, okay. So not Dead Space. No. Second hit is the developer is making other games now.
They're making other games now.
Yeah.
Space, sci-fi. They're making other games. I'm drawing a blank. Is it No Man's Sky?
It is not. This game has spin-offs.
Shoot. Is it spin-offs?
It has spin-offs.
Mass Effect.
No.
I hope it's not like Mass Effect 2.
This game is a first-party game to its console.
Dang. I'm feeling my honor slip farther away from
Your
me.
honor is slipping.
Space sci-fi.
You will be shameful once you realize what this is.
Dang it. I'm trying to like think about my collection thing.
You could think about that.
I'm forgetting the name of that goofy game with the Toys to Life stuff.
So that's not a first party game.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't guess it.
Yeah.
Space sci-fi. I feel like this should be a very easy genre to nail down. There's not a ton of stuff out there.
Yeah, I agree.
First party space sci-fi. And you say they're making other games. Am I allowed
The
to
developer
grasp
of this game is now making other games.
Yeah, but does that mean other game outside of this like possible series?
Yes.
Or you're not...
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I guess I could have been better about that. Yes, the developer of this game is not making these.
It's not like Halo and they're Halo.
Yeah.
You said it's not Mass Effect. And that's not exclusive, anyways. An exclusive space sci-fi? It better not be Returnal. Is it Returnal? Okay, give me the next hint. Yes, give me. I'm tired of this.
This is the first game in a series.
Dang it! It's the first game in a series, so it is a series of space sci-fi games. I'm gonna be mad. How many hints do I have left?
You have one more. Well, you have this hint, and then you have the next one.
Okay, that's what I was asking. It's the first in a series. I hope the last question is just
space sci-fi. The developer is now making other games in different series or whatever. It has spin-offs. It's a first-party game, and it's the first in a series.
Why'd you yell that at me?
You're gonna be so upset.
Is it Metroid?
No. Your next hint is you're a big green boy.
Big green boy?
Oh my God.
I don't know why I'm missing this. I think I'm drawing a blank here.
I'll throw you a bone. You've said the game already.
I'm a big green boy.
You said it within your like. Oh, I hope it's not this game.
Well, now I can't remember what I said.
It's Halo 1.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I thought. What games do they make? What other games?
Bungie's making Destiny now. They don't make the original.
Oh, they didn't make. Okay, that's what threw me off because I was thinking 3. I wasn't thinking Bungie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bungie makes Destiny now. They don't make Halo.
Okay, I don't feel so bad about that anymore because
You derailed yourself.
I derailed myself with the developer.
I was laughing so hard. You're like, I hope it's not Halo 2 or it's like. Well, I'm sorry.
I was thinking Halo, but you threw me off, or I threw myself off.
Yeah,
I'll say that with the developer because I was like, what else is 343 making like that? They don't make anything else. I mean, not that I'm aware of. But,
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can still, if you get these on the first try, you can have your honor back.
Jesus.
You have 12 points available.
Fantastic.
Or I can bump it back down to the 9 from last week.
No, let's see how I do first.
Okay. See how I do. Well, let's see. Your next game is a fighting game.
Okay. Fighting game. Is it Dragon Ball Fighters?
No, it is not.
Dang it.
It is a third-party fighting game. That should cancel out some stuff for you.
Well, yeah. It's not Smash. But I mean, there's lots of third-party fighting games. I'm gonna need more hints.
I was basically kicking off Smash for you.
Yeah. Well, my honor's gone. So
yeah.
Is it? Also, okay. Let me ask. How specific are you needing the iteration of this game? Because I give it Halo.
If you
that could have been Halo 3. Like, what if I?
Yeah. No, we'll see what you say. We'll see what you say.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. It doesn't need to be like turbo graphic for the SNES edition. Blah blah. Yeah.
Okay. Is it? He says not. He says third party. So it's not like Pokken Tournament.
Yep.
Okay, I guess I should start guessing. Like, is it Mortal Kombat?
No, but it is a traditional 2D fighter like Mortal Kombat. That's your next hint.
Is it? Again, I hope that you're not getting me good with like the iteration. The most recent Soul Calibur game.
No, it is not. This game has some bigger DLC guest characters that are not,
yeah,
a part of the game.
Right. Is this? I mean, whatever the most recent Tekken game is.
No, sir. This game is superhero based.
Oh, so it must be Injustice. Is it Injustice?
Say that again.
Injustice 2?
It is Injustice 2. Game 2 is Injustice 2.
Look at that. We talked about it.
There you go. We talked about it. So you got
3 or 4 points.
You got 2 points. I apologize.
2 points. Fantastic.
Yeah. So the guest characters. This game has Raiden, has Sub-Zero, and it has other characters, and it has the Ninja Turtles.
It does. It does. Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool game.
For fun. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So now game 3, and your first hint is it's an RPG. Yeah, it's an RPG.
You don't sound confident about it. But great. And just the general word. There's not many RPGs.
No, there's only a few. It's a handful.
Is it Dragon Quest 11?
No. It is not mandatory, but I'd say it's multiplayer focused.
Oh. I mean, is it Final Fantasy 14?
No. The developer of this game has published similar games.
The developer has published multiplayer RPG. I mean, okay, you threw me off with the way you said RPG. Like it's an RPG.
So. I would it's not like you said Dragon Quest 11. It's not like a turn-based RPG.
Okay.
But it is still like if you had to give it a genre, I would say it's like a 50-50 shot that you would say you probably wouldn't say RPG, but it's an RPG.
I mean, is it like Dark Souls 3?
No. It is a looter shooter.
Ooh. Oh no. Is this Borderlands 3?
This is Borderlands 3. Game 3 is Borderlands 3.
They published Game of the Year Godfall.
They published Game of the Year Godfall. Yep. Gearbox Studios.
So what did I end with, like 5-6 points?
I think you got 5 points. You needed 500 to pass. You got 5.
Fantastic.
Well, there's still some tweaking to go. I was a little heavy-handed. So last time I was too easy with the 2 guesses per question. This time it was like a little rough with the 1 guess per question.
It was. Well, because it's like depending. I mean, that's a point gone.
You cut out there for a second. You cut out there for a second.
Oh, sorry. Like depending on what that that first hint is,
yeah,
like you're basically giving up like points there unless you.
Hey, my game is fair and balanced, and you should stop arguing with it.
Hey, it's gonna get improved upon, but I am just Halo. But again, I'm not obviously I'm not a Xbox exclusive. Expert, but I think that's why I got thrown off was the developer. I was thinking 343, and I knew that Bungie developed the first one, but I got thrown off in my head.
We can bring the Halo problem to the committee. I'm hearing back.
Okay.
Hearing back from the committee. No, you still should have got it. No.
You're like, I'm hearing. No.
I'm hearing my own thoughts. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's all we got this time. I'm gonna go play some Resident Evil Village Castle demo.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Once again, anyone who watched and anyone who listened this far, I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun, especially having to see Sir Lumber himself over here.
The big face reveal.
The big face reveal of Sir Lumber. Catch him and others on the stream at twitch.tv/dailybeaten. We'll play some Smash on Smash Sundays.
Oh, yeah.
He will be there.
You may or may not discover my true name. Maybe it is Sir Lumber.
Maybe it is. Who knows?
We don't know.
You have to tune in to find out.
Yeah.
But I guess that's all we got for you this week. And maybe we'll be back next week. I'm not sure if it's next week or 2 weeks from now. Who knows? But more will be to come. And I hope to see y'all there. Any questions in the comments? Anything you want us to answer or talk about? Please feel free to leave it below. Ideas
I don't know about
welcomed.
you. I don't know about you, but I have that. The tank is empty. I have no other ideas.
No more video games are coming out ever again.
No.
So yeah, please, I'm begging you, any ideas at all? I'll talk about it for 2 hours. I don't care.
Need it. This is our careers on the line.
Yeah, the bank's calling. I need to pay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, everyone, and I'll see y'all next time.
See ya.